Hey, what's up, everybody? Ethereum came up and it tagged the high. It was sitting down here, chilling, yesterday's video, and it came up and it's nearly tagging this upper trend line. So, that's a good thing. Yesterday, basically, we said, let's just wait and see what happens. We look at the So here's yesterday's video, just a real quick clip. It's kind of interesting here. Look at this. Smaller time frames here. You got some kind of broadening wedge there, so you could come up and sort of come up here and tag the high first. I don't know, it's kind of one of those things you just gotta wait and see. So here we are right now. Did I know it was going to come up? No, I didn't know that. I mean, I even said Ethereum doesn't even look, it's not helpful. But it's just kind of interesting. We came up and it kind of confirms that broadening wedge. But, it's just one of those things that it's still not helpful. I mean, one side of it, and the reason I'm referencing Ethereum is because Ethereum is sort of the one that really needs to start showing its colors here, because you can't just leave it up to Sui and Solana. Ethereum's got to show up, and if it doesn't, then it's it has an ETF, it has every exchange, it has the Ethereum free pass by the SEC. I mean, there's no excuse why it can't move much higher, right? It's a little bit of a bigger beast to wake up. I mean, the market cap of it is, what is it, like 400 billion or so? I can't remember, but it's a lot. So it's going to take a lot to get it going, but I think we're moving in the right direction here. One idea is we have sort of this impulse, and then we have an A, and then this comes up for a B, and then that's a C. That's the thing that makes the most sense to me right now. So wave 1 and wave 2, so basically that's your 2 right there, and that is a flat. So 1, 2, and now we're charging into that third. Unless this is a 1, here's your A, B, C, there's your flat, and then this is a 1, 2, but it can't be because we broke the low. So this broke the low, so it doesn't make sense. So yeah, that first count looks pretty valid. The other idea here is that this is going to be a bigger correction. I don't think so now, but you basically got some type of larger flat where you have some type of, something like that. But I just don't think so. If this really starts to get going, then I just can't see it. On one hand, you could say 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I mean, it's possible, but I wouldn't count on it. I mean, this thing's moving pretty nicely. So let's see where it goes. If we look at the smaller time frames, I mean, yeah, this thing's trending great. So let's keep an eye on it. I want to look at Bohm and Dog. I don't know why I like these two meme coins. I just do, but maybe we'll find out that later on. Dog is definitely stronger than Bohm, I've noticed. But I think both have good potentials here because of the structure that they're giving me, right? I mean, they're giving me these 1, 2s, 1, 2, 1. Anytime you come up, you reset. You come up, you reset. You come up, you reset. you're resetting that moment. You're basically like revving that engine, you know, for some type of explosive move. Now you can see right here, boom, 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 and now we're actually, right, that's right, boom, and then you have that there. So that, and then that, and then that. So let's see. I mean, it makes sense, right? We didn't quite hit the trend line. By the way, we're pumping right now. Look at this. I mean, XRP's up 6.5%. You got, I mean, Theta was up pretty nicely yesterday. So it shows it's flat, but that's because after the daily close, it kind of, you know, it's still doing really good. I mean, just look at it. It looks like it wants to rip. It's still, you know, it could still be 3 and 3 and then 3, still a possibility, but you know, it kind of looks like a 1 and a 2, a 1 and a 2 also. So if this thing starts to really, I mean, I would just watch this here. If we break that, I think this thing's is gonna fire to the upside. But going back to BOEM, we can see, right, we nearly made it to the trend line. So I took a little bit of a stab, I believe, yeah, last night. So let's see if we can get something back up here, right? And then from there, you know, we don't want to come back down again after that, right? Because anytime you have a 1 2 1 2, you kind of just want it to be done after that, and then that's when we really start to accelerate. The good thing is we you know, we got a 3-wave move, it appears, right? I mean, you know, you could argue this is 3, right? So here's how we're gonna know. I like to say it's a descending triangle, but it's not, which is a good thing. It's more like a falling wedge, which is a better thing, right? So falling wedges usually get back to that area up here. So that's kind of what I'm scouting. If we come up like we just did now and we get rejected here, we could still come back and revisit the trend line, come back up, you know, build a base down here before marching higher. So just be aware of that. You know, just because you pop up doesn't mean you're gonna keep moving, right? Especially if you've, you know, had a decent correction. Typically we come back to the low and then kind of play around and then shoot up. So if we look at dog, same thing, right? But dog is a lot smaller of a correction. It seems like it's a little bit stronger, if you will. But when I look at it, it actually looks more bearish because it looks more like a descending triangle, right? We broke through, we came up, we're getting rejected, now we're gonna come down. I mean, so I could see arguments for both. Maybe dog didn't retrace all the way. It kind of back tested here a little bit, so not very helpful. QNT, man, QNT is just they announced on Twitter, or X, they said that they're leaving X. They don't want to be a part of X anymore because of Elon and Trump and free speech and all that. So they're going to go over to Blue Sky, right? I guess Blue Sky is blue, which is the Democrat color, right? Blue. So I feel like, they made a terrible decision. I think, whoever's in charge of the social media account or whoever's in charge of their organization is I call them idiots, because I think that's a really stupid thing to do. When you're running a business, or in this case, a blockchain company, you want to be sort of neutral, right? You want to be inclusive. So announcing you're leaving X just makes you look dumb. Like, it's just like, why? Everybody's on X, nobody's on Blue Sky. You just shot yourself in the foot. So it's like, why would you do that? Anyways, I think QNT is still a good coin. I don't own it anymore, but I do trade it. So we kind of have nothing against QNT, right? I think it's an ISO 200. It's a good coin. I think it'll continue going higher, but I think you just got a couple clowns making bad decisions. But it is what it is. So but yeah, it's still great. It still looks like you got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got a pullback. This looks like another wave here, right? So it could be something like that, like a flat, like a running flat. So that's kind of what I'm thinking here, and we're gonna go up and hit 5. So yeah, that's QNT, XLM. So we talked about it yesterday that we're still in the middle of the correction, and we had 3 waves down, 1, 2, 3, and I said either this is gonna come up and break out. Of course, it's going to come up and retrace. That's one of the things I felt. We were going to come up and retrace, which we did. So now we can flag out and break out, or we pull back and then come up and then do something a little bit more complicated. Something like this, like a bigger 3-wave move, and then go. So anytime you have a run up and then that first dip and then it pulls back, and then it starts to go back up, you got to be a little bit careful, because it always could be a trap, right? When you move up, you pull back, you buy the dip, right? It starts to move back up. Latecomers buy because they think it's going to come, but then it ends up doing that, right? So what do I think? I think so far it looks great. We impulsed nicely. Let's see the small time frames. I got 3. That's all I have though. So I got a ABC, and then I got a 1, 2. This looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to see we get up here for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because so far all we have is 3. So it could be an expanded flat. So if we can get an ABC here and pop the high, I'll feel a lot better. So let's see if we have to come back down and retest this area. This move is great, but this move here looks corrective. So it just seems to me that we got to do something like this, right? That's kind of what I'm looking for. So same thing with Litecoin. Let's put this on here. So Litecoin, right? You got a three-way pullback, pump to the upside. You got a three-way pullback, right? Now we're pumping to the upside. So what this did is it kind of flagged out in here, right? We talked about this yesterday. We were down here and we said, let's shoot up and then let's see if we kind of flag out like we did here, right? That's kind of what we want to see. Render's looking good still. That looks like a flat, but I don't really like what this is. I mean, I guess it could be a 1-2, and now we're going into 3-4-5. It looks okay. Yeah, actually, you got like a 1, A, B, C, 2. We didn't break the low, and now we're marching higher. What it's doing is it's bottlenecking, which is very bullish, but I don't like the fact that this was a lower low, right? When you're channeling up, you kind of want to make high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, but we didn't make a higher high. So it's okay, but let's see what this move does here. I think eventually this thing's gonna fire to the upside. So okay, SHIB is doing great, right? Remember yesterday we said that we got 3 down, we got 3 up, and then this is 3 down. So I said it could be totally finished, right? Here's your trend line. You bounced off the trend line. I actually should have bought some. Actually, I mean, come on. I made a good case for it. And now that I'm looking at it today, I'm like, man, that was pretty solid. So yeah, this could be finished, right? 1, 2, 3. It's sort of like a running flat. Now we want to break this high. If we could break that high, I don't mind paying a higher price, right? Or if we get a pullback here, I don't mind buying that either. So for trading, right? How high do I think SHIB can go? Well, somebody asked. I think I can give us a little bit of frame of mind here. So right now we're at what, 25.54. Okay, so essentially the bare minimum I'm looking for SHIB is $13,847. So 0.00013,847, around there. So that's I don't like coins that are like fractions and fractions of a penny, because it's always kind of difficult to remember. But we basically got about another 500% to go, 450. But I think it's going to go way beyond that. The reason why is because I feel like, you know, this should be a wave 3, right? We got 1, 2. This looks like a 1, 2, 1, 2. This looks like another 1, 2. This looks like it should be going much higher. So It's not a guarantee. It's not financial advice. I don't know exactly, but you know, here's our targets. So that's 13,847. We just said that, and then the other one would be 22. So you got 13.8. This one's 22. Up to 27, 28, all the way up to 35. And if we blow past all those, then I'm looking at 48. So that would be like probably the highest we can go. At least as I'm looking at it now. I mean, things can change, but if we go up here, that's about 1700% or so. So that's still a really good move there. I like SHIB very much. It's also, I like it way better than Doge. The reason why is because just look at it. It's sideways. This is what I love, right? Look at XRP. It went sideways for 7 years. Right? It still hasn't broken out, but I mean, anytime you're going sideways like this, you know, you should get a monster breakout, right? And so yeah, we just gotta wait for it. But some of the bad things about it is we're getting rejected in here, so we really need to get through it, right? So on the weekly chart, right, the worst case scenario is that this is an A, and then this is a B, and then we have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way down for a C, and that could take time. That could take a lot of time, and then go up, right? So it could be like a big wave 1, and then you have some kind of 3-wave move here and then go. But I'm not so sure about it. I'm not so sure. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think more likely, you know, we flag out, which we're doing now, and then we break it. So small time frames will be the key. And when I look at the small time frames, they look bullish. I mean, it's still pumping here, right? You had basically, look, you had this move up, and then you have a 3-way pullback, and now you're pumping. So it looks like it wants to keep moving up. So I wouldn't sleep on this one, but yeah, let's see if we get through the retracement levels, which will be right at about 2742 through, say, 2871. So right around here. That's the level that we need to get through. And even if you don't buy it, right? Like, let's say I don't buy it and I wait and it pulls back, it comes up, it gets over here, it pulls back. Once we break it, I still would add to my position, even way up here. Because then I know it's more than likely going to break out. And I know I don't have to hold it long because I know it's on the verge of breaking out. So some people actually do buy limits where they don't buy it until it gets up here, right? So they'll buy only if it gets up here, which is kind of, you know, different than what people normally do, right? They buy it, they want to buy it cheap knowing that it's going to go higher, but their perspective is they don't care if they pay a higher price. They just want assurance that it's going to continue going higher, and the way you get assurance is you get through these levels. So it's all a different strategy. For me, I don't really play like that too much. I more look for threes. So I got 3 there, but I didn't pull the trigger, but I did on some other things. So yeah, let's see what happens with Sheeb. Theta is just creeping and creeping and creeping and creeping and creeping, huh? Yeah, I think it's great. We sort of broke out in here, right? We back tested, and now we're starting to mosey on up. So the smaller time frames are not that nice looking. It needs to prove itself by breaking this top. If we can get out of there, that's what I'm looking for. But until then, I mean, you could technically say 3 down, 3 up, and then we have 1, 2, 3 back down, and then go. So that could totally come back down here and test that support one more time, unless we get through, you know, we're right in the middle of that 786, 886. So that's the final level, just about. Let's see. Yep, 786, 886. Yep, that's the final level. So let's break 207, and then we're in business. XRP. XRP just doesn't give me, I mean, it looks fine, but I don't really like that. It still looks corrective to me. I do like, you got an A, you got a B, you got a C, but this kind of screwed me up because it didn't look finish. It looked like, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you need 5. But you don't always get that. You know what I mean? You don't always get that. That's why DCAing is the best strategy. Look, you had a double bottom, right? That was good. And this looks like 3. That looks like 3. And then this looks like 3. So it looks like you have a 3-wave move so far. So the best thing XRP can do is kind of do something like that and get back to the swing high here. And then that's how you know we're in business. Otherwise, the bearish idea would be that this is a more complex B, like we said yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A. You got 1, 2. Now you're coming up for 3. It's a flat. You got a B, right? And then you come down for a C, and then you go. So where we are is kind of dangerous. It's kind of a dangerous spot to see. It's kind of like the battle between the bulls and the bears. You got point A, you got point B, you're right in the middle. So it's kind of like we have to see what happens here. But we have both lanes covered no matter what happens. So looks like we're pulling back now. So let's see how it plays. Checking flow out here. Flow looks great. You have this 3-wave move, kind of build some consolidation. You're starting to break out here. So still has a ways to go before we even get to the retracement levels, but that's kind of where I'm expecting it, somewhere up here, and then reevaluate. So but for now, I just kind of, I don't know, it kind of seems, I like them more horizontal than sort of trending up like this one is, but it is what it is. Fetch, same thing with Fetch. I mean, most of them had a nice pullback, and most of them are retracing, so they're pretty much the same, right? Dogecoin, similar. Oh, wow. That's pretty bullish because that's a nice running flat right there. Look at that. You got a beautiful move down. You got a 3-wave move up. And then you got a 3-wave move back down. That's a nice looking running flat here. So this could have been the bottom. If we can come down here and just kind of chill out for a little bit, build a base, then there's no reason why this thing can't really wake up. It's been sleeping for a little bit, longer than, most coins. Actually, not so much. It is the 1-hour chart, right? So it hasn't been too long, but it's been an appropriate amount of time for the size of it. So Solana, I don't like Solana. I don't know. It just doesn't look good to me. I just don't think it's there's so many better options out there. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I just don't like this. Look at this. You got this top here, and then you got this big dump. It looks just like Bitcoin. Honestly, it looks like Bitcoin here. So it looks like it should do this. Yes, it's got more upside, but it doesn't have a lot, I don't think, in percentage terms. Look, Solana, that was the time to be in Solana, right? You have a 1, 2, and look at the monster 3. So we need to look for things that have a 1, 2 with a potential monster 3 on the horizon. This already happened. So I wasn't lucky enough to participate in that Solana run last time. And down here I probably would have bought it. I think it would have been worth it down here. But since it's already up here, since you already got 5, I'm just not really... I know a lot of people love it, a lot of people hold it, a lot of people believe in it, and I believe in it too. But as far as a percentage terms, as far as making the most amount of money possible, I think there are way better options out there. Just saying. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. Sui. I would rather buy Sui than Solana, just because it's still pretty new and it's still lower market cap. So that's just my style. But I don't mind taking bigger risk when I know that alt season and things are moving in the right direction. Tia looks fantastic. You got this beautiful base, kind of like an inverse head and shoulders. You broke out, and now you're just kind of chilling there for a minute. But I expect it to get much higher. So on the 1-hour chart, it looks like it's bottlenecking. And what I mean by that is it could be going up or down, but when you move up and then you kind of do something like this, boom, 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 it looks like it wants to break out. Now it could be a flat, but either way, I think you got some upside on the horizon. Algorand. Algorand looks good too. You have a 3-wave move. It's kind of like, yeah, you got a 3-wave move. Or no, it's more like this. A, B, C. And then this is 3 here. So it kind of looks like you need 3 down. That's just what it looks like. But if this is a wave 1, then I would expect an ABC and then a continuation. So it's kind of a wait and see situation for algo. But as far as the long-term picture goes, I think it's great. You came all the way down, you had a bottom, you had a double bottom. It looks like it's got a nice W shape to it. So I'm expecting around $1.30 or so. So still got quite a ways to go with algo. I have a request for TDrop and DigiByte, and I think another one too. Let me take a look. But TDrop, I mean, I think it's great. There's nothing wrong with it. You have a big wave one, right? You created your base. You have a big wave one. You came back. You're retesting it. Now you're consolidating above your breakout level. So it's basically a wait and see. You know, I think it looks great. So what am I expecting for TDrop? I'm expecting it to get up here. A retracement, right? So if this can come up and do that, that's great. Or the worst case scenario for this one is if this is an A and that's a B, and then we have to come down for a C later on. That would be worst case, but I'm not so sure. I think it developed a big enough base where we don't need that. So I think we got plenty of upside. Now, where can this thing go? Well, if we look at... I would really like it if this was on an exchange. I know you can get it by swapping something, but I just wish it was more accessible, and then I can own it, because I would own it if I was able to own it, but I'd much rather it be just, you know, easily traded. So you're looking at $15 minimum here for this TDrop, and you're sitting at about $3.55 now. So, you know, anywhere between $15 and $35 is a good target to have. So I would actually say, if we round that out, I would say about $21, $23. So that's kind of what I would target, and that would get us kind of right around in here. So makes perfect sense. Now, is it possible for this thing to go much higher? The all-time high here where it opened, you don't really give it too much emphasis because there's not a lot of volume there, but essentially you got about $66. Could you hit 60? I mean, yeah, totally. You could totally hit it. It just really depends how the momentum shifts for TDrop. So, okay, DigiByte. Man, I haven't looked at this chart in long time. I know this one used to be an OG coin back in the day. I haven't held this one. It's been a while. So let me look at it here. I mean, technically it looks pretty good. You know, we have I mean, this thing actually looks pretty nice, to be honest. You know, it didn't participate in the last bull cycle, but neither did Litecoin, neither did XLM, neither did XRP, neither did EOS, and a few other ones. But what I'm seeing here is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got a 1. So you got a wave 1. Oh, come on. There you go. And now this to me looks like an A, a B, and a C. So it looks like you have a nice flat here, a running flat. So you have a 1 and a running flat for a 2. And what is going on here? Let's look at that. So to me, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So I think it's finished. And I think this is wave 1 of wave 3. which could be pretty big. So what am I expecting for DigiByte? I'm expecting it to get back here. I don't know how strong it's going to be in this bull run. I don't know how relevant it is. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a tough one. I mean, the chart looks fine. There's nothing wrong with it. So I'd like to see it pull back a little bit and then kind of work its way back up here. You know, you kind of get this W shape going here. So W's are bullish. Targets, if this thing wanted to break out, I mean, you can see it anywhere from 21 cents up to 55 cents. That's kind of the, and that's still 20-30x away, I think. Oh yeah, look at that. You hit a 4.236, that's 5,000%. 5,000% is not too hard when the market cap is small enough. So yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, to me, this looks like Wyckoff in a way, because you have your support here, right? Look at, there's your liquidity grab. So you kind of had boom and then boom, right? And now but it's a little bit, let's see here, let me go to the 2-day chart. Yeah, it's been charging up pretty nicely. So you're sort of back in the retracement levels here. So it's kind of a wait and see situation. But that's a pretty strong impulse. So I'd imagine you get more upside soon. Same thing with Filecoin. I think you got more upside coming. Not much to say on it, really, except what we've been saying, right? The small time frames are where it's at. Look at that. You got a 3-wave shape there. That could be finished, and this could be a 1, this could be a 2, and now we're getting ready to start our ascent again, you know. These little pause periods are good, right? Because you come up here, you take a break, you come up, you take a break, right? And it allows the price to keep moving. Here's one here, SYS coin. This is definitely an older coin. Somebody requested it. It also has that sort of same type of appearance, right? We didn't go on a bull run in 2021, but it has been sort of consolidating in here in a pretty massive base, right? So you got an A, a B, and it looks like some type of running flat here. You got some accumulation going on. So, you know, maybe a cup and a handle here working, right? So I think this thing could do very well. I don't see why it wouldn't, unless the only, you know, the technicals could look good, but if you have, for example, no one developing, right? No social media, nobody building on the blockchain, nobody using it, no user activity, right? Then it's kind of like maybe a dead coin and it doesn't move. I don't know the on data metrics of this coin. I can only look at the chart, and the chart looks fine. It doesn't look bad at all. Now I don't know how well it's gonna do, but we zoom in here, doesn't look too bad. You got kind of like a 1, a 2. I'd like to see this thing just rip and break that high, but it's gonna take a little while though, I think. I'm just looking at the structure of the wave. You sort of have this move, and then you have this move here, and then you have another one here. So it's kind of like boom, boom, and then you got boom there. So it's kind of a weird looking broadening wedge, if you will. So I'd like to see it get back to here, right? And then eventually break out. Again, I don't know anything about this coin, but it looks decent. And you could have a lot of upside potential. The reason why is because you got a massive base here, and you didn't participate in the last bull run. So you could be looking at, almost $4 for this coin. And that's a big move, considering it's only like 13 cents. Now, I'm not endorsing it. It's not financial advice. I don't know anything about it, but that would be sort of between 150 and say $3 would be sort of the ideal target for this coin here. So we'll see. All right, so this coin is called VRA. Verasity. I don't know anything about it. I actually had a couple people request, so it looks fine. Look at this. You start from the beginning. We had a beautiful sideways accumulation base. We broke out, right? And then we came, looks like we came down in 3 waves, and then we came back up in 3 waves, and then it looks like we have 5 down. So it looks like that's a 1, and then this is a 2, and now we should be starting that 3rd wave to the upside. So yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's great. You're gonna have some, I don't know how quick or fast or impulsive it's gonna be, but you're gonna have some struggle up in here. I don't think it's there yet, but once you get back to this 702 area, that's when I would expect it to sort of chill out a little bit, but I still think you got more upside to go. So the best thing we can do is kind of like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, get a little bit of an ABC going here, and then eventually break out. That's what I would like to see. Now, bearishly, I don't really see anything bearish too much, unless you got 3. If this is somehow 3, and then you get 3 up, but it's just kind of too big. I just don't really see it being the case. Targets would be about 13 to 15 cents, all the way up to 30, or all the way up to 25 to 35 cents. You're not going to know exactly which one it's going to be until you see the wave structure, right? For example, if we shoot all the way up to the 1618, right, 1, 2, and this is 3, then I know it's probably going to be more than that, because I'm still looking for a 4 and a 5. But if we have 5 waves up and we hit the 1618, then it could be finished. So it all depends what wave you're on when you get to these levels. But you're looking at between, 15, 25, even 35 cents potentially here. It could be way more than that. If we go to the log scale, the highest I would see it would be about 83 cents. So you got a 1, 2, and then you jump all the way up here for a 3, right? And when you look at that on linear, I mean, it's you got quite a ways to go here. So yeah, let's see it get back into those retracement levels first, and then we can talk. All right, so another one would be Celer network, and I believe I've seen this one before. Same, pretty much similar, right? You got a big 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got a 1. Looks like you got a 2. Or this would be 2 over here. So this one to me looks like you have an impulse, right? You come back down, and now you're just consolidating here in accumulation, right? So you have a rise, a crash. You don't have a retrace, but you do have accumulation. So I'm looking for this to break out and get to here, then reevaluate, and then most likely break out even further than that. It's a pretty new coin, so I would expect it to get a little bit more of attention. I don't know anything about it, but if we look at the fib levels, we can see you're looking at 30 cents up to 80 cents. So between 30 and 80 cents, and you're only at 1 penny, or actually almost 2 pennies. So that's quite a bit of move there. What is that percentage wise? I mean, you're looking at 1,300, 1,400, up to 4,000%. So it could be a big one. It could be a big one. We'll see. I wanted to say it was a 1-2, like a 1-2, 1-2, but we broke the low here. So what I'm more inclined to say is it's possible that here's your, obviously your 1, your 2, right? And then this is a 1. And then we have an A, B, C for a 2. So 1, 2. And now this is going to go up for a 3. Very, very, very soon. All right, another coin is VAI USD. I don't know which. Let me try this one. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you on that. Is that a stable coin? What the hell, man? I don't know what that is. Let me check another chart here. Okay, there we go. That's better. Not sure what was going on with that, but this is I like this chart. I mean, it looks fine. Yeah, it looks actually like CFX. Basically the same thing. You got a big 1, and then you got an A, B, C. You know? So that's your wave 2. And we should be going up for, I mean, this is just like CFX, so I think it's great. You got a nice running flat, you got the accumulation, you got bullish divergence. I mean, yeah. Next step, retrace. Let's get up here. That's how I'm looking at it. And then we will revisit it. If we look at CFX, I just posted about it. I just posted about it right here. That was that was 1 hour ago, and I said right here as there's the chart. It looks almost identical. So yeah, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, something like that. So anyways, that'll do it for this video. I just wanted to come in with an update real quick, and I will I say real quick and it's over an hour. If there's any coins you want me to take a look at, you can drop them in the comment section, and I probably will take a look at them. So but yeah, anyways, thank you guys for tuning in, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.